Hey, today we've got a status update on the latest major order, and it doesn't look good because we're doing something absolutely crazy on Akhmar. Not only that, but we're also going to discuss a post claiming the developers changed their 60-day plan. Also, there's an infinite sample glitch going on, and there's a lot more to discuss. If you can, support the channel by tapping the like button below and make sure you're subscribed. First off, I'm sure you're all aware we have a new major order, and the briefing honestly doesn't look promising. I'm not saying we're doomed to fail, but what we're planning to do doesn't strike me as the best course of action. In case you missed the latest briefing, we're set to capture live Terminids, and they'll be contained by an electric fence. Yeah, can you see the issue here? I think eventually the bugs are going to evolve or something crazy is about to happen. If you check out the briefing, it says right here, Terminids will be seated inside tightly controlled areas on Akhmar 4, allowed to develop naturally but kept in check by a robust network of electrified fences. Research teams stationed within the preserve will be able to requisition Terminid specimens as needed. Aided by the Seaf Bug Wardens, in the future the preserves can be expanded to provide not only research specimens, but also easy to acquire E710. Yes, you heard correctly, we're capturing Terminids to keep them in electric cages, which seems like a terrible idea. What's going to happen when they begin to reproduce or try to dig underneath the surface, right? I believe this could become a major issue down the line. I don't think anything is going to happen as of right now, but afterwards, once we have enough E710 fuel to power the Alcubierre drives, that is when I suspect we'll encounter some problems on Akhmar. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this briefing. If you believe I'm right or wrong, please let me know in the comments below and let's have a great discussion about it. Now, if you think that's the worst part, think again. There's even more trouble on the horizon. The automatons managed to data breach the DSS logistics hub. This happened when they captured Vernon Wells. The success message we received can be seen right here, and it says, however, we cannot rest easy. A data breach was discovered at the DSS logistics hub on Tarsh. The breach was closed and the network quarantined, but it is difficult to determine how much sensitive information may have been stolen by the automatons. Until the DSS is complete, it will be under dire threat from those who envy the freedom it will provide. We continue the project with haste and remain ever vigilant. This right here doesn't specify whether or not they know about the plan, but I believe they do. Especially if they manage to breach the DSS logistics hub's data, they must know by now. So, as the major order or the briefing says, we cannot rest easy knowing the automatons potentially have information about the Democracy Space Station. Now sure, we need the Alcubierre drives, but at the same time, I think the current major order might just be a big distraction meant to prevent us from focusing on what's really happening on the automaton side, because really I think the whole situation is about to get worse. I even mentioned that in another video, and it looks like I'm not wrong at all. Do you guys remember the Escalation of Freedom box art that Arrowhead posted when it went live? Okay, if not, here's what it looks like. If you check out the top left, you can clearly see the automatons have their own type of destroyer. This could potentially play a role in a scenario where, we might have to defend the Democracy Space Station from an attack. Imagine a new mission where we have to destroy their massive ships in orbit by completing a mission objective that fires a large beam or maybe a missile at them. It would be incredible to see a massive ship like that hurtling towards the ground. They could even include a large explosion in the distance similar to the nuke mission. With that aside, let's go over the game plan. Here's what we should do as of right now. Just about 2 hours ago, we barely defended 8-shirt. In this clip right here, you can see there was 6 minutes left to defend, and we were neck to neck with the Terminids, but overall, we were successful. You can also see that there's only one planet left to liberate, which is Darius, and there's of course Pandion, which is currently at 80% liberation. I recommend going here first, although by the time you're watching this, most likely it will be liberated, and if so, then you have two options. There's the Crux system and Darius left to liberate. Out of these two options, I suggest we head over to Darius so that this whole entire sector is cleared out and completed, and it will also stop the Terminids from heading over to Akhmar, which is very important. At this point, we should only have one planet left to liberate, and that's the Crux. Alright, next we've got to talk about an article that I thought was quite interesting. There's an article that basically starts off by saying the developers changed their 60-day plan to a 63-day plan, which you can see right here. And that's absolutely ridiculous. It seems like every time the developers at Arrowhead try to do better, there's always someone out there that has something negative to say about it. Obviously, the developers aren't taking an extra day or so to figure out the patch, That's completely nuts, and it's not the case. They happen to have scheduled the 60-day plan to where it ends on a weekend and not on the weekdays. Plus, they didn't want to release the patch the day before the weekend, mainly due to the fact if something goes wrong, they have no way of resolving the bugs or whatever the situation may be. Now, I saw some comments in yesterday's video where a few commented and quoted what the developer stated, which was this right here.
But we didn't look at the calendar.
What day is the 60 days?
It's on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And we don't patch during weekends because we don't want to break the game while you're playing the game.
That right there, I noticed that there were some comments in the last video where a few were confused about this. The reason he mentioned this isn't because they don't test their patches, although that can be argued, or that they intend on them being flawed, right? He pointed this out because of the unpredictability when 100,000 players or more log in simultaneously compared to their QA team, which is nowhere near that number. If you all can recall, in the last patch, we encountered a bug with the shield backpack. I'm sure, again, you're already aware of that, but something like that could happen again, or something worse. And if it does, and it's over a weekend, yeah, there's no one at the studio to resolve the issues immediately, so that is why he said that, and it makes complete sense to me. On a completely different topic, I'd like to bring up an interesting glitch that has been going on for quite a while. There's an infinite sample glitch that could pop up dead center in the middle of the map. If you check out this clip right here, relationship Klutzy is able to pick up an endless amount of samples, ranging from common to rare and even super samples. Apparently, this can happen when the host of the party decides to leave mid-game. There's actually another post that was created about 2 months ago, where this player explained that it happened when the host left due to connection problems, and everything, including artillery shells, spawned in the middle of the map. It's crazy. This could very well be the most bizarre glitch I've witnessed in the game thus far, and I thought it would be great to discuss. I'd like to know if any of you have encountered this bug before. If so, let me know in the comments. Also, there's another glitch going around where you can automatically complete the evacuation mission just by completing the 2 objectives normally, and then going towards the evacuation icon on the map and activating the terminal. All you have to do now is enter the combination, and towards the end you'll see that the doors will open and it will automatically complete the mission while all the citizens are basically left on the planet to be sacrificed in the name of democracy. It's crazy, guys. So if you didn't know about that, then there you go. Such a funny glitch. Moving along, we've got a status update on the current situation revolving the Sony EULA. So about a week ago, there was a EULA agreement that had been updated on Steam, and a lot of players thought Sony was up to no good, which is not the case because, well, I informed you that it was all due to the California law. However, this might apply to just about everyone eventually if laws are passed in more states. With that said, GOG has created a post on X basically letting everyone know that if you purchase a game through them, you will be given an offline installer. Right here towards the bottom it says, a purchase of a digital product on GOG grants you its offline installers, which cannot be taken away from you. For all the PC players out there, if you're concerned about losing access to your games, then heading over to GOG to purchase your titles might not be a bad idea after all, considering they provide an offline installer. Personally, I'm not too worried about it, so I'll keep buying my games on Steam. However, if you're considering it, GOG is definitely not a bad choice for getting games. Moving forward, we have a status update on the connection issues. A member of the Helldivers 2 Discord asked if Arrowhead has any updates on not being able to join lobbies. From what we know right now, it seems that the network team has been working on a variety of issues. The proof can be seen here when a support team member, B Vitamin, responded with this. Not really. Being unable to join a lobby could be anything. Really, I know the networking team has a bunch of stuff they're working on, but I know less than nothing about networking. Have you asked in troubleshooting? Yeah, you can see she doesn't know much about networking except that the team is working on a variety of issues. They might resolve it in the next patch, which would be greatly appreciated, I'm sure, by many of you. However, as of now, we're not really too sure what's going on or what they're specifically working on. We're now going to talk about Liberty Day. Now, I know a lot of you are interested in this, but most importantly, did you know why they made Liberty Day Liberty Day? Well, apparently from what B Vitamin has said in the recent Discord post here, she wrote, it's Pilested's birthday. Yeah, so no kidding, it's his birthday. He's actually going to be celebrating with us all, or we're going to be celebrating with him. Either or, tomato, tomato. Anyways, you get the point. That right there is pretty cool. If you didn't know about that, neither did I, so it's something interesting to know about. Also, speaking of something you may not know about, I've talked about this a while ago, maybe 3 months ago, but if you wanted to know, where did they come up with the name Arrowhead Game Studios? This right here is Pilested's answer. When we tried to come up with a studio name, we had a long day of throwing ideas around, but ultimately only Arrowhead stuck and without much competition. The name Arrowhead mainly came out of 2 ideas. One, my last name is Pilestedt, which can be directly translated to English as Arrowstead. We also like the idea that Arrowhead sounds like a serious company. Tip of arrow, cutting edge. Then you see the logo, a person with the arrow comically piercing their head, and the meaning changes into something dumber. Right there, I thought this was incredible. So there's some more stuff for you to know about. Last but not least, for today's video, if you recall 2 days ago I asked what your favorite loadout was, and I even mentioned I'd be willing to try it out. That's what I'm doing today. If you'd like me to test your loadout, comment below and I'll give it a go. With that said, let's look at the previous comment where MinMax Firm Driver suggested this build right here. We have the cookout shotgun, which is great for staggering as you mentioned. The secondary is the grenade pistol for blowing up bug holes, of course. And for grenades, you cannot go wrong with the thermite grenades for chargers, impalers, and sometimes you can even use them on bile titans if they're weak enough. For stratagems, you recommended the 500 kg bomb for bile titans, and the second stratagem you suggested is the napalm orbital strike for taking out a variety of enemies, except for bile titans. Lastly, for support stratagems, we have the jetpack and the flamethrower. I haven't used the jetpack in quite some time, and I totally forgot about how incredible the flamethrower is for crowd control. It does wonders. The jetpack is also amazing, and I like using it to get out of those sticky situations where you're ganged up on by a bunch of bugs. Speaking of jetpack, it will eventually receive a buff, by the way, which should happen next patch, as Pilestedt mentioned in the past. Overall, it's a great loadout. I think it's worth trying out if you were looking for something new to try. With all that being said, this is your Helldivers 2 news. If you guys would like to be featured in the next video, comment down below and you might just be featured. The first comment is by Amix8778. Arrowhead, drop this Eve team and vehicles and my life is yours. Yes, I've said it under another video. And I agree, I would love to see it, but you know how these things go. We gotta let the team cook, we gotta let them do what they gotta do. And eventually, we'll probably see that. The second comment is by Silly Cat Enjoyer 1. I believe I've seen your comment before, but you said, quote, don't want to finish too fast, end quote. And that is from the last video. I'm sure you guys know what he's referencing to. If not, check out the last one. And last but not least, we have the Watchful Eye 1. Being able to recall the guard dog is huge. There are so many times when I'm out of range of enemy detection, or have yet to be detected at least, and my guard dog will decide that it needs blood and starts opening fire. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I actually had something happen to me recently where my guard dog was not moving at all. It wasn't doing anything. Strange, maybe just a small bug, maybe a rare one. Yeah, that is what happened. Anyways, thank you guys for commenting. If you guys would like to be featured, remember, all you have to do is comment. If you haven't already subscribed, give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.